I'm Rebecca. I create. This is what I'm working on. I'm so excited. I think this is such a beautiful rendering. I'm a Canadian building a house in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The property is located in El Cerro, which is the hill in Centro, Puerto Vallarta. The lot is 73 meters square and long and skinny. It's a bit of a logistical nightmare for planning, but we are working with a really great architect that will bring this idea and this lifestyle to life. Today I want to go over the floor plans for our house 1, which is our smaller lot, located on the south side of the 2 lots. So we want to start with the smaller lot first for a couple of reasons. It'll be our first time building in Mexico. The risk would be limited to a smaller construction size. We would be checking to see if there's any changes or materials that we didn't like in the first build that we could change for the second build. Our plans with the 2 houses afterwards would be either to keep both and rent them and also use, or sell the first one to then help pay for the second one and offset some of the cost to build. But I'm really excited about the historical integrity that we're keeping to the neighborhood. There's some restrictions with building in Puerto Vallarta. If you're building above 1 level, there is a math equation. The higher you go up, the less square feet you are allowed per floor. I think works nicely for this property because it will be offset from the back of the property so that we can add nice windows and a nice terrace for airflow and for light. What's currently on the site is a wreck and needs to be torn down. It was not lived in. It was used to store materials, so we will be knocking it down and then soil testing and doing a topography analysis before we are able to get our construction permit. Right now, we are waiting for our demo permit. They're extra careful in this area due to the heritage and also due to some neighbors that have not listened to the rules. This neighborhood is absolutely gorgeous and we're really excited to be a part of it. What we're building is going to be a house. It is 2 stories plus a rooftop. In the 2 stories, we are hopeful for 3 bedrooms. And then on the rooftop, we would have a small dipping pool and kitchen and a lounge area. Because of the size of the lot and the configuration, the staircase had to be carefully placed in order to, 1, fit the rise and the run, but also to incorporate a swimming pool. So let's get into the plans. Here is our lot survey. We have the first lot here. And this is our second lot. Our first lot, long and narrow. A building here, and there's already an existing building here. So here's our street. There will be a sidewalk here, and this will be our entrance. Our limitations are light from the front and light from the back. So you have sun in the morning on the front. So your front patio here would have sun, and then as the day progresses, you're going to have sun that comes here and you're going to have a beautiful sunset in the evening. Here we are on the ground floor. We have our entrance here. This is our sidewalk. What I like about this entrance is that it's not directly on the sidewalk, it's off of the sidewalk. So you'll have an overhead here. So then coming into the hallway, there is the staircase, but in order to get up the staircase, you're actually going to come up this way. Okay, so you see the back of the staircase, which we're planning on having an open tread staircase. I have a little mock-up of this hallway I will share. I'm not an artist, although I love to pretend that I am. This is the door opening. And then we're gonna have some nice large tile with small grout lines. A small floating concrete bench, something to sort of set some vases or plant life on, with integrated LED lights that come from the top of the floating staircase. It would have a stringer just for support and also safety, but integrated electrical so that the lights can shine down onto the plant life here. There's a wall that comes out So once you get beyond the staircase, there's a little bit more space to get into the apartment. I think this is a nice welcoming look. We're going to go into this room here, which we've labeled bedroom. For resale value, I think having a third bedroom is valuable, but how we might use this space, that we would have it as more of an office with a Murphy bed. So that bed would be attached into the wall that could come down in whatever size. I think this is a queen size that could fit. Maybe it's a double. Maybe I would have a desk here that has a nice view of out the window, but also really accessible to come and go as we build the next property or whatever project it is that I'm working on. So we've added a cheater door here, but made this into a sliding door. I think that that will work nicely for the entire floor, but also feel somewhat private if there are guests staying here. I like the size of this bathroom, but I think that's a perfectly useful bathroom, nice vanity size. You have a nice closet here. I think that's a really good closet size. So then when you're coming out, you'll see that the space under the stairs goes out, so you have more space to go around the stairs. Our laundry area we wanted to have on the ground floor here, a regular sized washer and dryer, and then some storage. So if we walk more in here, we have the kitchen, dining, and living room, and two full size, as large as we can get into the space, sliding doors. Because we need as much light coming into the space, you're going to have late afternoon sun. It will be lovely to sit out on this patio out here, which we'll get to. So the kitchen, I think, is small but mighty. So we have an island. Most likely the sink will be here, the dishwasher here, fridge, stove, pantry, and then this will be cabinetry, a sitting space for at least two, possibly more. And then we go into the dining area, a tight space to be able to fit potentially 6 people. What I've suggested is a banquette. So that pushes space out so that you can have more space for the chairs and the table. So it just gives you a little bit more square feet. So you'd move that space over, which gives you then more space into the living room. And I'll show you what I've come up with. I like this inset rounded arch. This is the banquette with a pillow on the seat, but also a nice pillow features. This would double as also shelving. I'm a really big fan of decorating with items that are also useful. Things like a salad bowl that wouldn't fit in a cupboard, you would put on a shelving, or a vase that you would take off the counter and actually put your flowers in when you have fresh cut flowers. This brings the table over, which then gives you more walking space between your couch, your island. This pinch point becomes a little bit better. The living room, most likely the TV will be on this wall, attached to the wall somehow, some way. So then we're going to be opening up these doors wide, where you're going to have a nice breeze coming in, that later day sun. And this terrace is going to be absolutely beautiful. And the plan here is to try and incorporate a water feature, some brick interlock that come out, a nice seating area, and it's just going to be quiet, serene. Let's go to the second floor. From the ground level, you're going to be coming up this way. I'm thinking that this is going to be my primary suite. And here's why. You tell me in the comments if you think that the back unit should be the primary suite or the front. Here's what I'm thinking. We go into the bedroom here. I'm a TV in bed kind of person. This wall has to have a TV. Very large sliding door. And then this is a patio. I am a slow kind of morning person, especially in Mexico. I want to be able to have my coffee on that patio with the sunlight coming in. There's a closet space here, and that's in the nook of the front. So you have extra closet space that could just be locked. You have the bedroom with the integrated side tables, which I'll show you. And you have closets on both sides, so it's a walk through. You could have access to the entire closet, or you could have an entire side of that just locked completely with your things in it, which is most likely how we will be doing it, is that we would have things that we would keep down there. The bathroom is about the same size as the one downstairs. It's slightly bigger. And the vanity is going to have to be double duty, where it has a lockable space, but also quite a bit of storage, because you're going to have to fit, you need towels, you need toiletry items, hair dryers, all that stuff. We'll go into this design here. So if you remember the banquette from downstairs, I have the same feel for the bedroom. So you have a rounded arch with integrated backboard and side tables. And the floating side tables, I think, work better than having drawers here. I like the idea of it being open where you can vacuum and clean nicely under it. You have just what you need on top. Because this is an integrated arch, I would like to see if we can add electrical pot lights with a light switch down here so that it could be a reading light. These are more of a decorative, these beautiful antique looking glass blown lights. That gives you a little bit more space in a small area that you're building it into, and you're not adding the large big furniture into the room. So we're gonna come out, we're gonna walk down this hallway, and we're going to see the other primary suite, okay? So you tell me which one you like better. You'd have your TV on here. You do have more doors, so you'll have 2 large sliding doors, unless one of them is fixed to save on cost. That's definitely a possibility also. This is not a patio. So this would be a Juliet balcony that would look down into the terrace. Do you remember that terrace, the ground below? Beautiful, serene patio. That's what you would be looking at down below. And then you have a closet / bathroom here where you have lots of closet space, and then also approximately the same size bathroom. Here's why I think I might end up with this room as my primary and not this one, because it would have later light in the day, which typically I'm up at the pool. I'm at the pool or I'm working or I'm out, but perhaps it's quieter. This neighborhood is very quiet, but of course you do have some noise, some street noise, some people walking, cats and dogs and roosters and chickens and all that stuff that can be bothering you. So will the back side be more quiet? Is that something that you're going to want to have? I wonder. 1 or 2? Which one are you moving into? Okay, here we are on the roof. We are surrounded on all sides, so there's no view with this house. The benefit of this house is that you're getting everything you want that you would have a 3-bedroom condo, but it's your own. You get your own private pool, you get your own private rooftop. You're doing that without an HOA to tell you what to do. You have control of your own expenses. You have your own privacy, and you are in the best neighborhood, in my opinion, in the entire world. Okay, so you're going to come up here and there's a landing here, and then there's a door. I have instructed the architect to change the kitchen to be over here and the island to be over here, leave the dining space, and then have the lounge closer to the pool and the pool deck. Okay, so the top is going to be covered with a roof to here, and then the rest is open. This will be a pool deck that will be 2 stairs up, the kitchen being back here. So this is the roughest sketch you will ever see. Simple, plain. I like the idea of having 3 here behind your kitchen, and either tiled, like a tiled antique looking mirror, something like this, or large cut mirrors that maybe have a tile going along the outside, you know, that's trimmed in it. This is something that I will work on. So this is the 2-piece that will sit up on the rooftop here, just enough for you to get changed or have a quick wee before you're back in the pool. And then next to here is where the pool equipment would be. That's the tour of the floor plans. Now let's go over the renderings. Here are our beautiful renderings. We would like the color to match the roof tile, but I just think that this is a beautiful representation of keeping true to the aesthetic of the neighborhood, also incorporating the local brick and of course the local tile. Here you can see the offset of someone walking on the sidewalk and where the front door is located. Oftentimes when you're walking in Puerto Vallarta, you will see a door right on the sidewalk. Here it's shaded. If it's raining, you know, you're covered. This is a brick style pattern. I want that same brick to match the tile as close as possible with the lighter blonde, less red color. So I want to keep the traditional colors of the neighborhood, but bring that sort of modern twist into the hacienda style. Here's our rooftop, and it gives you a little bit better perspective of why I want to move the 2 rooms, the kitchen and the living room. The more time used would be lounging near the pool, that it would be a little bit more cozy in this area. And I do like the lights that they're implying. with the renderings, but I would use them in more of like a clustered artistic manner over top of a seating area. You don't have that height definition with the actual plans, because what I had them change is that you're actually going to, before the pool, walk up onto a deck, 2 stairs, which then you don't have the full step of getting into the pool. Makes that access a little bit nicer. And also visually, I think that walking up here where you can then see into the pool would be nicer. Building in Mexico as a Canadian is not simple. There's a lot of barriers. So there is that you're a foreigner and the foreign exchange, language, which I am actively working on, and so is my family. The permit approval process is definitely a challenge also. It does take time. The construction methods are going to be completely different. This will be brand new for me, a complete concrete building. The other thing that I'm worried about, but I'm told by my contractor not to worry about it because they do it every day, all day, is building into a mountain. That in a part of the world that can experience hurricanes and other natural disasters. Once we have those 2 permits in place, then hopefully it's go time. But again, this is all new to me, so every step of the way I will try and update and bring you along and make it as beautiful and as enjoyable as possible, because also part of this process is me learning to create the content. So I appreciate any feedback that you have for me in terms of the content creation. I've invested in some equipment that will help me better document this, but I appreciate anyone coming forward with information that might be able to help me speed up my process or collaborate, and all of those really great things that help us with social media to be able to reach the right people. Thanks for following along. This is a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's going to be a lot of fun for you.